So I'm gonna do some garden tours, and I haven't really come up with a good time to start filming garden videos. It's been a really bad year. Everything got overgrown. It was really smoky and I wasn't out here, but I still have to harvest everything. So this is my garden. It is pretty overgrown and big, but I'm just gonna start where I am. We've had some corn eats off of half the corn and a couple off of the, I grew two kinds of corn. So we finished off one kind of corn and we've had a couple of ears of the next corn, so that's great. Today I harvested some beets. I'm going to harvest the rest of the beets and process them and do some other stuff in the garden as well. So I'm just going to bring you along. We're going to call it, I don't know, From the Garden today, and I'm going to do these videos until the garden is all put away. So like if you like the video, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my garden videos. So I have about 10 pounds of beets out of my garden. This is just some of them. Here's some little ones that I'm going to put in a salad with some kale. But these ones I'm going to chop up into, you know, small 2 centimeters, say half an inch squares, and then I'm going to freeze them. So after I freeze the beets, I'm gonna store them in a Ziploc bag with labels on it for when I put them in the freezer. So you wanna try to, oh, it's really bright. You wanna try to get as much of the air out of the package as you can, and I'm gonna put these in the freezer. With a bunch of the beets, I'm gonna make some pickled beets. I don't eat that many pickled beets, so I'm gonna try to do about half a recipe. And so I've got all the stuff. I'll list below the books that I use for canning, but I've got all my stuff ready, the pickling spice and the rest of the ingredients. And I'm going to water bath can in this stainless steel water bath canner, and we'll see how it goes. I already sliced up, I boiled the beets, and then I topped them and bottomed them and skinned them and then sliced them up ready to go into the jars. I think maybe we'll get 3 pints and a little few extra, but should be a good 3 pints of pickled beets. There they are. I did manage to make 4. I think I'm not very particular about stacking them and fitting them in the jars perfectly, so it was a loose fit 4, no problem. I am going to cook up a few more for borscht for dinner, and then I'm going to put the rest in the crisper, and that's it for the beets. Then we have a vegetable soup with beets, some kind of borscht. No ham in there though. Could be vegan if you use just vegetable broth. I used chicken broth, so, but you could make it vegetarian or whatever just by using vegetable broth instead. It smells wonderful. It smells just like beets. I like it chunky like this, but you can thin it out any way you like. And then I like to put some sour cream on top. Which is actually, I use plain yogurt, but you can use sour cream. I think this is the biggest yellow onion. It's huge. We got them all strung up. I think I still have some shallots in the garden, but these are the yellow onions and the red onions, and this one that has a different name. They're like flat onions. Usually I just use them in the kitchen. And then I've got some here that are funny, weird kind of onions that I'll just use right away. This one has a really thick stalk. I'll use those ones right away in the kitchen. If you're at all interested, these are the books that I use. This is the newest book, the All New Square Foot Gardening. I got that, I think, a couple of years ago, and I can't go quite as extreme as they do in this book, but it's super useful information to have. I started out probably 20 years ago with this book, How to Grow More Vegetables Than You Ever Thought Possible on Less Land Than You Can Imagine. It's pretty beat up for sure. My version of this book, they're up to their 50th edition. So I'll leave the link. There's this original book. It's more expensive. The revised, updated version is cheaper on Amazon, but it's John Jeavons. This is a great book. I've used it a lot over the years. It has garden layouts, how much you can expect. So I'll leave the link to that in the description below. The other fun book that I love is the Encyclopedia of Country Living. It just has information about everything, pruning trees, raising sheep. I don't have any sheep, but it's a fun book. I love it, by Carla Emery. In terms of canning, I am not sort of a rebel canner. I definitely follow all the rules. I use, this one has great recipes, the All New Bald Book of Canning. Oh, where's my other canning book? And then this is just my standard book. I use this one the most often. Complete Book of Home Preserving. I'll leave links to this in the description below as well, if you're interested. That's my gardening video. When I told people I was going to do a YouTube video, they assumed that I was going to do a gardening video because I actually have a fairly large garden. I spend a lot of time out there, and I put up about 1,000 to 1,200 pounds of produce out of the garden every year. I didn't really think about it, but if anybody enjoys it, that's great. It's a lot of work. This year has been hard with the fires and the smoke and the heat wave that we had, and the heat wave killed my cherry tree and it killed my plum tree, and the apples are small, so it's kind of a sad garden year, really. But it's all still got to get done, and I'll just take you guys along with me. We'll see if you enjoy the videos. A little bit of cooking, a little bit of canning, a little bit of gardening. Should be fun. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe for more garden videos. The heat wave killed my cherry harvest and it killed my plum harvest. Didn't kill my trees. It just shriveled all my cherries up into raisins and all the plums fell off the trees. The trees are okay though, I guess. Hopefully. Thanks for watching.